Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Zambians, please allow me again to give some further advice to the President, to the Inspector General of Police, to fellow preachers in my nation. But firstly, let me say thanks to those of you who had given some advice to me concerning the first video, length video that I had sent. One of the advice was that I should make short videos. Thank you so much for that. So I had planned that future videos will be short, but that one was specifically made to be long for a special reason. And please, before I say furthermore, allow me to read some headlines from some of Zambia's online news. This one says, top cop implicated in gassing incidences. And this comes from Diggers News, February 29. Abandoned bag of police uniforms frighten Ibex Hill residents. February 21, this is from Tumfueko. He was mistakenly burnt to death, suspected to be a ritual killer. And this is a story of a grade 11 student who was coming from his girlfriend's place. And sadly, he's lost his life. Gassing. Luingo mob axes nurse to death. This comes from Zambian Watchdog, February 20. Former local government permanent secretary. I want to respect his family by not mentioning his name. Dies after mob attack. Lusaka Times, February 20. Evelyn Horn students gassed. February 20. This comes from Lusaka Times as well. Police were at HH's residence last night. This is from Zambian Observers, February 21. When I read this, it really saddened my heart because Zambia has always been known as a beacon of democracy, as a place of peace for a long time. But sadly, we can't say that anymore. When I read this, my heart was saddened because for a long time, Zambia was known as a beacon of democracy, as a place where peace is found. And that's why you will find different nationalities coming to Zambia because they have known our nation to be a place of peace. But with all these stories, Zambia is no longer known as a place where peace is found. And I was even surprised to read that is Evelyn Horn students gassed. And Evelyn Horn is just next door to our police headquarters in Lusaka. How can someone go and gas students there? And perhaps he is still at large. Hope he has been found, he has been caught. Let's hope he has been caught. Now, all these stories, headlines that I've read, and many other stories that we are yet to read, they show a lack of leadership. It showed failed leadership, especially among the police officers. For a long time, PF cadres had become a law to themselves. They had taken over the running of markets. They had taken over the running of bus stations. It had to take cadres from the opposition, UPND, to tell the police, to give the police an ultimatum and say, remove the cadres from the markets and from the bus stations within this period of time. Otherwise, we're going to remove them by force. And then when the police acted, I read stories where people were thanking the government. Someone from the city council was thanking the government for removing the cadres because now they have funds to be able to pay for some things which they couldn't pay for because money was going into cadres' pockets. Cadres had become a force, become more powerful than the police. And what is happening today is a result of that. where the police, instead of doing their professional job, they were waiting for instructions from the Minister of Home Affairs, waiting for instructions from a cadre saying, we need this to be done. We need this one to be arrested. And then the police will act. Or for someone from State House to say, do this, and then they will do that. The police might say, we do it professionally. We don't do it based on what we hear others telling us to do. But we doubt that. And what is happening is a reflection of what has been going on in the past. But time has come, Mr. Inspector General of Police, to do something, to take a strong stand and say enough is enough. Your reputation is already tattered. You will go out of your position as one of the West police inspectors. But you can do something which people will remember you for. And if you are being frustrated by people from on top, resign. Do what Hari Kalaba did. Do what many others have done. Resign. I also want to address you, Mr. President. God wants you to finish well. And as I said in my previous video, don't be just interested to win 2021 elections. You are even scheming to go to stand in 2026. You can stand in 2026. You can stand in 2030. But if you don't do things right, you will be judged, Mr. President. You will be disgraced. Look at Sudan. Look at Omar Bashir. He was a strong man. Today, he is in chains. That's why I'm urging you, Mr. President, to do things well. Fight corruption. Fight injustices, oppression of man by man, as Kenneth Kaunda used to tell us. Don't oppress the opposition. Someone might say, I'm trying to defend the HH. I'm not trying to defend the HH. All I'm saying is let the government, let the police do a professional job. If you can't do any professional job, do what HH has said. Call in Scotland Yard. Call in the FBI. They can come and solve that problem within a short period of time. Or maybe even within a day, or 2 days, or 3 days. Do what is right. And if HH is responsible for that, bring true evidence. Don't rely on what GBM or Tayali is saying to implicate him, but do thorough investigations and bring HH to court if he's the one responsible. And for us to read stories that police were at HH's house, what were they doing there at night? We have heard stories that some people want to plant things. Maybe even by this time they have already planted things at HH's house or at HH's farms so that they will dig them out and say, here is the evidence. Now let me tell you, security men, do things right. In around 1981, or around that period, I prayed for a certain lady who used to be a shushu. She used to belong to the office of the president. She told me of how she used to get information. She told me of what she used to do. At one time, she had one white man deported. I think it was only given 48 hours to leave. By then, this lady was bound with the demons. And she was crying, she was confessing of some of the things that she did, which she should have not done. And thank God she confessed. I was able to pray for her and cast out those demons that were influencing her. I hope she's still alive and she's able to listen to this video and say what I'm saying is true. Let me tell you, you security men, do a thorough job. Don't listen to those who want to implicate others for no reason, but do a thorough job and bring to book those that are responsible. Mr. President, God wants you to finish well. Finish well by treating your opposition well. Even if they are wrong, do what is right according to the law and bring them before the courts of law and let the courts judge. Today I listened to a recording. Someone was saying some things which we have all been saying. That there have been some people who have been arrested and they have been in the police cells. These who have been going around gassing people, they have been in police cells for a while now and they haven't appeared before the courts of law. Why are they not before the courts of law? Why is the police service, we can even call it the police force, why is the police force keeping these people? What are they doing to these people? Perhaps they are trying, as some people are saying, they're trying to coach them to say HH did this, it's HH who sent us, so that they can escape the sentence. Let me tell you, implicating wrong people for no reason, God will bring judgment to you if you do that. He'll bring judgment to you now, or he'll bring judgment when you are gone from this planet Earth. So do what is right. Let only the right evidence be revealed. I'm not defending HH or any opposition person. Even if HH became president or another person comes president, I'll still come here and oppose any evil that they might do against Zambians or against the opposition. I'll still do that. We used to call KK. In fact, I still call KK the greatest president we have ever had. KK was known as KK Wamuyaya. Kumulu Nilesa Panse KK. KK was known as more or less, it's hard to translate into English. Wamuyaya means everlasting. In heaven is God. Down here on earth, KK. Today, KK is enjoying his retirement. He's not Wamuyaya in terms of being the political leader. KK did some wonderful good things. He made some mistakes, but he's still the greatest president we have ever had. And we give him respect. So, Mr. President, do things right and people will give you respect. Mr. Inspector General, do things right and people will give you some respect after you retire. I appeal to fellow preachers. Time has come for us to speak out. Time has come for us, all Christians in Zambia. Time has come for you to speak out. Things that are happening in Zambia should not happen in a nation that is called a Christian nation. To see someone being killed and others are just standing. Yes, if they have done bad things, yes, beat them, but don't kill them. Don't shed their blood. Let them go to the police and be taken to court so that they bring out evidence and let the courts sentence them. May God bless the nation of Zambia. And I'll come back and talk on some other things. And also continue to talk on what is happening. May God bless the nation of Zambia.